Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Anil Joshi. Welcome you to my series Iconology and Temple Architecture Perspectives. Today topic is very special. One thing, because it is from Pattadakal. ICONOGRAPhy is considered laboratory of temple technology. Lot of experimentation has taken place in ICONOGRAPhy. However, the implementation is at Pattadakal. So if we consider this together, ICONOGRAPhy, Pattadakal and Badami, we can see full development of the temple architecture. How it started from a stone cut, that is the cave temples, and how it went up to the gorgeous, large, beautiful temples. Like one of that we are going to see today. We are going to see how gorgeous it is, how large it is, and how beautiful it is. So today's topic is Trilokeshwar temple. It is also called Mallikarjun temple, situated at Pattadakal. Pattadakal was known for coronations, and Pattadakal was also a special in technical temples, because temples here were not constructed by the kings but also by the queens in the honor of king winning the battle. So also many common people. The names of all of them are mentioned. It is real greatness of the royal people, and also those who has made this temple to look like this, that is artists, the carvers, the people who has worked at the site, their names are also there. There are a lot of inscriptions, there are a lot of names of donors who has made this possible. So it is really an honor and great thing for all of them. Hello and welcome. To know why Pattadakal is important, there are two things. One thing is when it was formed, at what stage of temple construction this place Pattadakal came into existence, and why of all the places they have selected Pattadakal as the place for such a huge, gigantic, marvelous, beautiful temples. Now we'll know step by step one and another. The name Pattadakal means, it has come from the word Pattabhishek. Now what is Pattabhishek? Is the crowning ceremony of the king. So crowning ceremony of any king has to be in a best possible place. It has to be auspicious place. Now how Pattadakal becomes a auspicious place? Because the river Malaprabha, though usually it flows in south direction, but once it comes near the Pattadakal, it takes a turn and start going towards the north direction. And this particular sign they take as the auspicious. That's why for crowning ceremony of any king, for any auspicious occasion, they have selected Pattadakal. Now second is its chronology. Pattadakal has come after many experimentation at ICONOGRAPhy. ICONOGRAPhy was considered as a laboratory. Now after the experimentation of laboratory in ICONOGRAPhy, they started implementing in Pattadakal. Now all temple development, right from the rock cut till such gigantic constructions, beautiful constructions, you can see in this area, particularly Badami, ICONOGRAPhy and Pattadakal, and all were by Chalukyas. Now after certain days, Chalukyas lost to Rashtrakutas. However, in spite of that, the development of beautiful temples did not stop. It kept on happening more and more. Now once we enter this UNESCO protected area or premises, we can stand at one place and observe that there are multiple temples. Now how to identify a beauty and chronology as far as time is concerned, I'll tell you. From here we can see three types of shikharas or vimanas. Shikharas is a North Indian word and vimana is South Indian. Now why we have both? Because from here you can see both types of temples, South Indian as well as North Indian. South Indian are called as Nagaras and South Indian are called as Dravidian style. So both are seen here, and that's another beauty of this place. Now once we stand at the entrance, we see Kada Siddheshwar, then Jambulingeshwar and Kashi Vishweshwar as the smaller shrines. Smaller in the sense as compared to the other one, but if we really consider them, they are beautiful and adequately large. Now there are two Dravidian style of Vimanas now we should call here are seen from here. They are Sangameshwar and Virupaksha. These are the two South Indian typical Dravidian style temples, and the most important thing, Virupaksha temple was constructed in honor of king when he had a victory over Pallavas by his queen. So a gift by a wife to the husband, or a victorious husband, let us call it. He has a good victory. Now let us come to the combined type of Dravidian as well as North Indian, that is Nagara type. They can also be called as Rekha Nagara. We have seen in details why it is, and we are going to also see when we will see the individual temple. Here we are going to have just a overview. Now similar temples of Rekha Nagara type you can appreciate in Jagannath Puri and Konark Surya temple. So they resemble that. As we have seen that there was a good exchange of architecture between north and south, and we have got lot of combinations. And typical Dravidian are Sangameshwar and Virupaksha. Then they have given a typical name for all these combinations. Maybe because Chalukyas had done it, maybe because at the time of Chalukyas it was done, so it was just named as Chalukyas or Chalukyan type of temple architecture. Now here also we can see many inscriptions. Now speciality of all this is they are donated not only by the queen, not only constructed by the king, but even a common man has contributed for this. And the great part of king is he has mentioned their names, and also the names of the artist is also written over there. Now once the temple, once upon a time considered as the center for the religious rituals, subsequently all social functions start taking place in the temples. As we have seen just now, a coronation ceremony of king, or maybe some celebrations of particular auspicious days of a year, or what they call as the particular god has got particular days on which it is worshipped by enlarged people. So also they are used for the other cultural activities. So that we are saying a typical presentation is the Ladkhan temple, which was initially as a town hall or a village assembly hall, which was subsequently converted into the temples. Now we have seen all in detail why we are calling this, why a structure resembling like wooden structure is seen at Ladkhan temple. So also many architectural wonders we are seeing here. Now with this brief, we are going to see now each and every temple individually. So let's get going to the individual temple. As I told you, the premises is beautiful. You must visit it in the morning, if possible at the time of sunrise. When we went there and we saw sun coming out of these temple salutes, it was such a beautiful sight, a very clean premises. Agreed, it is by UNESCO and ASI department, but Karnataka government also looked at it very properly. It is very clean, nice, decent, and I don't think anybody needs to tell you after seeing these all pictures. It is just a landscape. Now let's come to Trilokeshwar temple little bit. First theoretical, first the information, and then we'll go to practical, that is the temple photographs and videography. Photographs first and then videography, because personally I believe eyes will not see what mind doesn't know. So let's have first some concepts clear in the mind. Now Trilokeshwar temple is a mid-8th century Shiva temple, as the name itself suggests, and it was sponsored by Queen Trilokya Mahadevi. She has done it in honor of her husband winning a war. It is located south of the Kashi Vishwanatha temple, then southwest of the Sangameshwar temple, and is close approximity to the Virupaksha, which is the largest. This is second largest. The temple was built about the same time as that of Virupaksha temple, with a similar design and layout. But still, if you see both, you will find lot of differences and lot of beautiful things. Whatever changes are towards a betterment. Therefore, we must see both, and we must see from the eyes of difference how the beauty can appear in different ways. Now, another speciality of this temple is this reflects a fully developed South Indian Vimana style architecture. Vimana is a shikhara in North India, and in South India it is called as Vimana. So Vimana and shikhara are same except the geographical differences. One thing is North India and the another is South India. So also there are differences in the architecture of it. This Vimana of Dravidian style was fully developed along or at this time. How we'll see it when we'll see the temple itself. Its Garbhagriha has a Shivalinga and features of circumambulatory path, that is the Pradakshina Patha. Pradakshina Patha was there, then Shivalingam is also there, and also a well developed Vimana, which is a typical South Indian shikhara, and it has got stupi on it. Now in front of the sanctum is the antechamber, that is the Antara, that is Antara. Antarala is a space between a Sabhagriha outside and a Garbhagriha. So there is small space that is called as Antarala. There may be shrines on the either side of it, or they may not be. All types of varieties exist in the temples around this area. Different temples will have different varieties. Now Mahishasura was a demon and killer was the Mardini, meaning the one who killed. Mahishasura Mardini killing the buffalo demon, and another Ganesha on each side. So these are the two sub-shrines on either side of Antarala. Both currently empty. The deities are not there. A Nandi Mandap is included in the temple, wherein Nandi faces the sanctum. That is, always he faces Shivaji. Always God Shiva and Nandi are together, and Nandi faces Lord Shiva. Now here important finding is Nandi Mandapam is included in the temple. Nandi can be within the temple. Nandiji can be outside. He can be covered in Nandi Mandapam, or he can be in open air. All these varieties you will see in all sorts of temple in this area. So wherever you visit a temple, just make a note out of it. It will be interesting. Now, access to sanctum is through a pillared Sabha Mandapa, that is a community hall. I told you Sabha Mandapa and second is Garbhagriha are the two main components, Antara, which connects it. Entrance, that is a porch, has got an enclosure, that is Prakara, and a gateway, that is the Pratoli. So these are the names given to it, either in English or in local language, they mean the same thing. The temple, through similar this temple is quite similar to the Virupaksha temple. However, the architecture has slightly differed, but that slightly different has made a unique beauty. The description of the dancing Shiva, Nataraja in the temple, sits in the shallow arch of the Sukhanasa. Now Sukhanasa, I told you, is an addition in many temples here. This technology was slightly later added into the temples. We have seen it in other temples also. So that's they will have a Sukhanasa, and that will contain, or there will be carvings of the dancing Shiva, that is Nataraja. As another example, the topmost story, that is layers of the Vimana, of the Shikhara Vimana is same. Superstructure of this temple lacks hara element, that is the threads. These are some technical points in which the Shikharas can be different, Vimanas can be different, and we should study them. While its roof is hemispherical, like the square roof of the Virupaksha temple. So here there is a difference between Virupaksha and this temple. Slight differences, but by and large both are near each other, similar to in architecture. The use of stone carvings for storytelling is prevalent throughout the temple. Whether it is any temple of south, you will find the stories are there. The legends of Hindu epics and the Puranas are depicted on the temple pillars in the community hall. These stories span all major traditions within Hinduism, including Shaivism, Vaishnavism and Shaktism. Though all three are different, they can be projected in the same temple. There can be combinations of it, and the king was taking care of everybody, including irrespective of his which he is following, Shaivism, Vishnuism or Shaktism. The Rasalila of Krishna, that is his play during the childhood, whose stories are found in the Bhagavata Purana, are also shown in phrases, as are Hindu fables from the Panchatantra, like other Hindu tales. This is slightly later addition. Panchatantra in the temple has come slightly late, but that you will see here also and in Khidrapur also. Lot of stories are there, and they're interesting, good for the young boys or children's. The phases of Mallikarjuna temple shows Karma and Mithuna's scenes of amorous couple. Now this is the glory of this temple. It has got something for the children, something for the grown-ups, and also it tells you that when you enter the Antarala, all things are to be kept outside. You are alone, you have to go into the sanctum when you will face the God, and you will start realizing that your ultimate achievement is a moksha for which you should try. So this is all steps, and that is one of the reasons why temples are situated at slightly higher level. You have to climb down, and this is each step when you gain something and also you start losing something, and the ultimate aim is to go in Garbhagriha and to achieve a moksha. Now other places, then artha scenes like worker working with an elephant carrying a log, and a single woman with different emotional expressions are carved into the stones. One of these women carries the 8th century musical instrument. So just see how old is Indian musics. Particularly you will know it in Hampi when you can see the musical pillars. The Indian people has produced music from the stones, and they really can be tested. They are tested, and they have got different notes of the music. So here also there is one more instrument in the hands of one woman. She is carrying it. Now let's go to the temple. You can appreciate the all aspect which we have just now discussed. This is a big temple complex where there are more than 8 temples, out of which 3 are very large and remaining are slightly of smaller size. Carvings are beautiful. Now one of the way in which the temples are constructed without any cement or adhesives is just by interlocking, and this technique can beautifully be seen in this temple. See the interlocking technique, see how the stones are locked, so that they are for years now, almost practically you can say 1300 years they are well maintained. I will not say in the original shape, there has to be wear and tear, especially when it is a red stone. Red stone contain more lead oxide, so they are more prone for wear and tear compared to granite. Now we can see Nandiji, we can see this is what happens with the aging. When just imagine when it was freshly carved, how beautiful it should have been. But in spite of that, after 1300 years, it tells you how it was. Beautiful carvings, not a single stone is left uncarved. And as I told you, the temple is slightly on a raised platform. Then Shukanasa you are seeing, that is elevated projection at Vimana. Vimana is a typical South Indian word which we are using, but it means same as that of the Shikhara. Beautiful. If you keep on observing them, you spend hours and then you realize how many hours you have spent here. This is interlocking technique. See how they are interlocked. They cannot get dislodged. These are the, not totally, but partially ruined temples. Now we are slowly going inside towards Garbhagriha. We have crossed the Antarala. There is an inscription, the one who is covered with the green cloth was the inscription which they are undergoing some repair work there. For that reason they have closed it. Now this temple complex, there are good signboards directing the visitors. Being a UNESCO site, lot of people from outside countries also visit this, and they also appreciate our technology. Around 1300 years back, still seen, there are guards which are keeping good security. But what we have seen is you don't really need any discipline. People are so much disciplined, they want to keep these things for the future generation. Now let us recollect what we have seen and let us go to the video with some revision. Now let's know what is the peculiarity. Another example, the topmost story of the Shikhara, that is superstructure of the temple, lacks Hara element. These are the certain points which we made, which you should also go and make there. While its roof is hemispherical, like the square roof of the Virupaksha temple, the use of the stone carvings for storytelling is prevalent throughout the temple. So these are the two similarities in both the temples. The legends of Hindu epics and the Puranas are depicted on the template pillars of the community hall. Then those stories span all major traditions within Hinduism, including Shaivism, Vaishnavism and Shaktism, can be nicely narrated. The Rasalila of Sri Krishna, we have said it once, we are repeating because we have seen photographs and we are going to see now video. So it was essential to recollect all these things. So Rasalila of Sri Krishna, that was found in Bhagavad Purana. Then phrases of Hindu Panchatantra, they were small stories, they were moral stories, and they were telling you how you have to be in the world, because wiseness comes with the experience, and how the children knows is through such stories. So that was an excellent example they are set to taught children. In all these places, artha scenes such as walking elephant, a man walking along the side, and some women along the side are also shown. Now all these things we are going to observe again in video. With that, we are coming to end of this presentation. I thanks for giving me your valuable time. I hope I added into the knowledge. In case if you happen to visit these sites and if you have some information which we have missed, please let us know so that we can correct ourselves. Knowledge is a continuous process. We should keep on learning. There may be some drawbacks from my side, but I like to get it from you so that I can improve in my knowledge and my perceptions. Thank you, goodbye, and take care.